Have you seen this watch camera company Leica release this week? It seems like resolution isn't the only case it's been featuring, as this one will cost you about 14Ks. Why does it cost as much, you might ask? Well, because it features this red dot on the side of it that's supposed to remind you that it's based off of a camera. It's like if Red said, hey, look at this cool new logo design we have with the red Komodo, and then charge you $6,000 extra for it.
The price? Your soul.
Which actually sounds like something they do. But what do you think? Should I buy this watch? Obviously, my watch doesn't work according to this guy. I mean, I'm sorry, who uses a watch to tell time? If you're in the market for new gear this year, you may want to get on it. We've been hearing rumblings that online dealers expect price increases soon on many of the brands they carry. And this should come as no surprise if you've even been casually browsing for the new products over the past 2 years. The global chip and part shortage is growing across the globe, and we're really starting to see the effects. So just a PSA, go ahead and grab that new camera or accessory you have your eye on before the price goes up. I know I will.
Minutes are riches of clock when I'm coming on. Profit is labor unpaid.
But the news many of you came here for is related to a product that hopefully won't have a price jump too soon. The Om-1 is back. Sort of. OM Digital Solutions announced the new Om-1 this week. It's the flagship camera in its new Micro Four Thirds lineup. It includes a new sensor design, powerful autofocus system, and up to 8 EV steps of image stabilization. Now, OM, previously known as Olympus, released the original Om-1 in 1972 as the world's smallest and lightest 35mm single lens reflex camera. The new Om-1 is powered by a 20 megapixel stacked BSI Live MOS sensor and TruePix X engine. Many of the features make this camera geared toward landscape, wildlife, and macro photographers. And in true fashion to other Olympus models, the Om-1 can really take a beating. OM says that it's the world's only IP53 rated camera, meaning that it can handle anything from water splashes to dust or extreme cold. So for those of you out there that like to get a little crazy with your cameras, get on this camera train. There are plenty of early reviews out there from videographers who got a sneak peek at the camera, including quite a few articles on DP Review. So if you're interested in hearing how this thing really performs, check those out. We've linked that and a Frame Voyager article in the description on this video about this camera. The Om-1 will be available for purchase starting in early March, and should be fascinating to see how that turns out. Pricing for the camera body starts at $21.99. And last week's speculation about a potential new box-style cinema camera from Canon is now confirmed. YM Cinema found the US patent application late last week. The patent includes information that shows the camera could include dual pixel autofocus, remote control capability, built-in ND filters, and 8K resolution, and more. If you want to hear more about what this development could mean for the industry, check out the latest episode of the Frame Voyager Ungraded podcast, where I sat down with Tim Butner to discuss all of these potential features. And yes, I know Canon already has a box style camera, but this one's new and I'm excited about it. Okay, so all of you out there.
Are you afraid of monsters? It would be so sad to know.
And ProRes RAW is no more on the Ronin 4D. Are we really surprised? DJI announced the update to the product specs on its just released flagship camera, saying Ronin 4D will not support internal compressed RAW recording at launch, but Apple ProRes will, but made available through a firmware update later in 2022. Some additional updates from the original specs will be available in the firmware update that you can download right at launch, including mirror control mode. Despite the update, DJI is excited for the release of the Ronin 4D and what it calls the beginning of a new era of film production. This change did bring a $400 price drop to the 6K model, so if ProRes RAW isn't a requirement for you, well, I guess you saved a few bucks. And if you already pre-ordered the camera, DJI suggests that you contact your dealer to get a refund on the price difference.
I can send you what's called a quote.
Okay.
Have fun with that. We all know why ProRes RAW got removed from this though, and we're looking at you, Red, for your ridiculous patent on RAW files that even Apple can't win a suit against. It's absolutely insane.
Stars, I keep seeing stars inside your eyes.
We interrupt all of these exciting camera release and development stories to bring you some incredible image from outer space. We're getting our first look at light on the surface of Venus. The Parker Solar Probe captured the first visible light photos of the planet using its wide field imager, or Whisper. It imaged the entire night side in wavelengths on the visible spectrum, the type of light the human eye can see, and extended into the near infrared. The images seen in this video showcase a faint glow from the surface and distinctive features of the planet, including continental regions, plains, and plateaus. Whisper technology was first used to capture images of Venus back in July 2020 in hopes of measuring the speed of the clouds, but Whisper came through with images all the way to the planet's surface. So when the Parker Solar Probe did another flyby in 2021, the researchers turned the camera on and got the images we see today. This is the first time scientists are really getting a look at the second planet, often referred to as Earth's twin, and they're hopeful this development will allow them to get a better understanding of how Venus became inhospitable and Earth became an oasis.
Is anyone out there more alone than us? Endlessly spinning round and round us.
If you're in the market for mirrorless cameras, you should definitely take a look at the market leaders. Sony announced this week that it was the #1 full-frame mirrorless and lens brand in 2021. Are we very surprised at this? No. This is according to a report from NPD, the industry retail reporting and analytics source. It's the 8th year in a row that Sony has claimed the top spot. The best-selling A7 III also beat out the competition to remain the best-selling mirrorless camera for the 4th consecutive year. And this model, while pretty basic, offers many high-end features at a more entry-level price. So it's perfect for new videographers and those who just need a more budget-friendly camera in their lineup and who also need to take photos. The company's growing lineup of E-mount lenses, highlighted by the G Master series, also continued with a strong performance, claiming #1 as well. All in all, it's a killer year for Sony's mirrorless offerings.
Baby, keep the light on for me, I'm coming home. Know I got you forever wherever I go. I feel like I'm high.
And one of my personal favorite brands in the industry, Smallrig, announced a new video light that reaches over 62,000 lux. The RC120D daylight point source video light and the RC120B bicolor point source video light are now available. And as pointed out by Viva Media Group, it looks a little bit like a copycat of an Aperture. The Smallrig RC120 series adopts a COB high luminescence efficiency and integrated surface light source technology with high quality lamp beads to ensure the accuracy and stability of the optical parameters. Wow, that is a mouthful. The setup is perfect for everything from video production to live streams and product photography. Main features include high luminescence, high quality color rendering, intelligent remote light control, ultra quiet active cooling system, a standard Bowens mount, dual power supply system, and 9 lighting effects with a 6-meter power cable. All the details of these 2 new lights are available at the link below in the description. And we will be reviewing these lights here soon, so stay tuned. Finally, the nominees are in. The Academy released all of the nominees for the 2022 Oscars, including quite a few for Licorice Pizza. This movie is making headlines in the industry due to the fact that it was all shot on film. Writer and director Paul Thomas Anderson selected the Panasonic XL2 and old C-series anamorphic lenses to recreate the look and feel of the 1970s. Anderson also played a role as a cinematographer and producer on Licorice Pizza and confirms that recording on digital was never an option, and he prefers to shoot on film. In addition to the stunning visual aspects, Anderson says he loves how film changes the dynamic on set and demands discipline from the crew. He told Kodak, "I also like the process, the rhythm of the lights, camera action that comes from celluloid production. There are some good things about digital image capture. One of the downsides of digital production is when the cameras just kept rolling and rolling. When you have 4 to 11 minutes of film in the magazine, people really get focused on set." It's worth noting that Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, also nominated for Best Picture, was shot on film as well, but the cinematographers elected to use more modern lenses. And I just have to say, from a personal standpoint, it is an absolute travesty that they did not at least nominate Denis Villeneuve for Dune, for his adaptation of Dune. I mean, the cinematography and the planning they went behind, just don't get me started. It's ridiculous, and the awards are absolutely stupid. And that's it for this video. If you haven't seen that story we were talking about earlier about Canon's square camera that, yes, I know they've already made it, whatever, click on this video here for a fun time. It's the start of the box cinema camera wars right here on Frame Voyager. We'll see you guys next week.